Welcome back to the PulpMX Fantasy Show presented by Maxxis Tire. I'm Donnie from RotoMoto. In this video, I'll give you 4 riders I like for Foxborough, 1 rider I am wary of, tips for the FFL, this weekend's weather and schedule, as well as an early look at my team, all courtesy of Maxxis Tire. You know Maxxis Tire. You know their MXST tire designed by the king of Supercross and my all-time favorite rider, Jeremy McGrath. It is the newest and most advanced tire on the Maxxis MX lineup, featuring an all-new tread pattern, compound, and composition to provide the stability, predictability, and traction that the upper tiers of motocross demand. Available at your local retailer and also at motosport.com. Looking at the ins and outs for Foxborough, biggest news this week was the loss of Jeremy Martin for the remainder of the Supercross series, but despite his foot injury, Adam Cianciarulo will be attempting to line up this weekend to contest the final 5 rounds of the season as part of his newly announced farewell tour. Be sure to check the little box above the rider list that says only show riders who appear in the qualifying sessions to filter out all riders that do not put down a lap time at all. All right, on to some picks. 3 riders I like, 1 that I don't, and a high handicap guy if you're looking to gamble in order to win an authentic Daxton Bennick jersey this weekend. The Northeast area has been hit with a ton of rain this week, but press day was canceled on Friday and the track already covered, so I'm going to be making my picks under the assumption that the layout will be raceable. 250 All-Star, I like the cut of Max Anstey. Just 2 rounds ago, Mad Max was holding the red plate, and a DNF and bad Triple Crown balloons his handicap up to a 6. But before that, Max went 2, 6, 8, and including the Triple Crown gate drops, the Firepower Honda rider has finished inside his handicap 4 out of 7 times this year, one of only 3 All-Star riders to do so that often. A double eligible guy I like this weekend is Trevor Collop. The Ty-Loop Honda rider came out hard and fast with an 11th in Detroit before missing the next 3 rounds due to injury. What makes Collop as well as Munoz, Base Fluke, and the double-digit guys beyond that is the lack of mid-range handicap in the 250 class. Including All-Stars, there are only 13 riders with a handicap under 9, so they are huge points to be had in the East, and we'll get into that in a bit more for the high handicap hero later. 450 side, you have to go with Jet for your All-Star. He was a bit banged up after getting bam-bammed in that final race in St. Louis, but as long as he looks solid in qualifying, I am not concerned. Before that crown, you have to go all the way back to Arlington to find a gate drop that Jet finished off the podium, and even then, it was a 4th. All in all, Jet has finished within his handicap and 67% of mains this year, tied for best among 450 All-Stars. The guy that I am wary of picking this weekend is the assailant of Jet, and that is Justin Barcia. Bam Bam isn't necessarily a bad pick, but he has benefited greatly from the penalties in the second race last weekend. It's easy to look at his 6-4-10 result in St. Louis and think that that is progress, but he actually crossed the line 6-8-10 before modifiers, and an average of 8th with 0 handicap isn't exactly moving the needle much for me here. The high handicap hero this weekend is practically the entire 250 crop of 10s and 11s, but I'm going to highlight Gage Linville. The Dirt Bike Depot pilot made all 4 traditional main events to start the East region, and all 4 straight through the heat to boot. And with the best of 15th in Arlington, Linville could be poised for a mid-30s score this weekend. Moving on to the FFLs, Tom Vial is the only rider with more than 1 that isn't out injured in the 250 class, so he has to be the first look, but it is worth noting that Cameron McAdoo has the best average start in the class, but has yet to finish first across the line. 450 side is the big 3 are still the big 3, although they were all shut out for the first time in 2024 last weekend. I'm still looking for Jet and Kenny regardless of weather conditions this weekend. Weather is going to be wet and mild in the morning, but drying up later in Foxborough. 56 is the high with clouds in the sky as race day live kicks off at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, with qualifying cheat sheets dropping 1 hour before the gates do. Instagram and Twitter will see them at 6 p.m. Eastern, with the picks locking at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, with gates dropping shortly after. My Thursday team has Max Anstey at All-Star on the 250 at a 6, Jalik Swole with a 0, Trevor Collop at a 9, and high handicap hero Gage Linville with a 10. On the 450 side, I have Jet Lawrence at a 2, Benny Bloss with a 6, Sugar Shane McElrath at a 5, and assuming he races the 450 class this weekend, I like Jeremy Hand as well at a 12. Don't forget to follow PulpMX Fantasy and at RotoXMoto on both Instagram and Twitter for injury updates as the weekend rolls on, qualifying info, and stats and banter throughout the race itself, and those fantasy cheat sheets once qualifying is done and wrapped. Thanks as always for watching the PulpMX Fantasy Show presented by Maxxis Tire. My name is Donnie. May your chiz this weekend. Remember that 8 is great. And most importantly, have fun. Good luck, y'all.